Hey, guess what? We're down here in historic Nampa, Idaho, and we're doing a journey into the past. Let's go check it out.
Dave, Edwards Treasure Valley Dave here, your expert real estate resource by your side when it's time to sell your home, buy a home, or relocate to the Boise, Idaho area. You'll find the Treasure Valley Dave team office centrally located right here in beautiful Nampa, Idaho. Now back to the video.
Wow, so today we're down here in historic downtown Nampa, Idaho, having a great look at all the stuff that's going on. And our city put together this great journey to the past. It's like a self-guided downtown historic walking tour. And I thought I'd give you just a little taste of this, see what you think about it. And also you could download this too. We'll give you a link, don't worry about that. But let's check out some of the things on this list. So the first thing on our tour, number one, is the Nampa train depot. And the walking tour starts at this train depot. Built in 1903 by the Oregon Short Line Railroad, a subsidiary of the Union Pacific. And from personal experience, they have this great little museum in there, staffed by volunteers. That's a really fun thing to check out. Don't you just love the architecture here? And that caboose car, you can actually go up in that. So next on our list is Tiny's Cocktails. It's still going. What do they say about this? So this building is eligible for inclusion on the National Register of Historic Places. It has the original windows and doors. Note the use of multicolored brick and details in the facade. And look, it's open. Wow, we are living history right here in downtown Nampa. And right next to Tiny's is the J.M. Bray Longbranch building. Actually, it's a couple buildings today. Let's take a look at them. I imagine this is probably the original one there on the left. It does say J.M. Bray 1909 at the very top. And then this looks a little bit more modern over here. And I know that they have professional offices and such in there. Some different offices. They have Producer's Choice Seed, Gilstrom and Quinn LLP. Wow. Just gotta love these old, 1909. Wow. How many years ago was that? More than I can account for. But next on the list is Wall Street Alley. Let's take a look. So during the 1906 to 1910 era, Wall Street was called Oriental Alley because both Chinese and Japanese lived and owned businesses here. In the early 1900s, the Chinese men would gather here and cook a big pot of vegetables and meat right on the sidewalk, and then they would dip into the pot and sit along the curb eating with chopsticks, visiting back and forth in their melodious language. I'll bet they put up some of that graffiti right there too, huh? This place is just living with history. So next we have the Blue Eye Building. Well, that's a funny name for a building. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's that building there on the corner. The Blue Eye Building was originally built in 1907 and rebuilt after the 1909 fire by Edmark, a prominent Nampa businessman and author. He named it after the title of a book he had written in 1905 about a blue-eyed young woman who was kidnapped by Indians after her family had been killed. The second story of the building featured an opera house and later a dance hall. Dancing? Wow. So now it's the home of what? Holy cow. At least on the first floor, which is a pretty cool place to go. Can you just imagine what that place was 110 years ago? Probably the same thing it is right now. A prominent business and well, I guess that wasn't historic downtown Nampa then, but it sure is now. And this is pretty cool. Just kitty corner from the Blue Eye Building is the old Nampa department store. Let's take a look. So this big old building here was designed by Tortolete and Hummel. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that right. In 1910, the Nampa department store was financed by the Falk Mercantile Company of Boise with E.H. Dewey and other Nampa businessmen as stockholders. So as you go through this, Dewey was a big name in Nampa history. You probably, well, maybe you haven't heard of the Dewey Hotel, and that burnt down in the Great Fire, but that was just the place to be. So now this is say professional offices downstairs and then apartments upstairs, which would be pretty cool. You can live right there. You can hang out over here where they have the farmers market. Enjoy all the fun that's in downtown historic Nampa. And then just down the street a little bit is our next one. It's American Bakery, Terry Electric, and Terry Furniture Appliances. Wow, so these have been quite a few different things. Sure looks like it's got a facelift over the years. This location has recently undergone a renovation. See, I told you. 1945, the American Bakery occupied 112 and Terry Electric at 116, which eventually evolved into Terry Furniture and Appliances in the 1950s. Wow. It's kind of fun to imagine what this would have looked like in the 50s. I mean, I've seen Fonzie and Happy Days. Doesn't seem like it's that long ago. I guess it's been some 70 years. And just next door to that great place is what used to be, well, the Christenson Implement. Yeah. So now it's an event center right here in historic downtown Nampa. But back in the day, in the 1930s, it was the Christenson Implement Company, located here from someplace else in town. And it was here until the late 40s when it became the B.F. Goodrich store. From the early 50s to 1989, it housed the Coast to Coast store. I remember those stores. Recently, the front of the building was renovated as part of the historic facade restoration project. Well, that's pretty cool. I like that they're keeping this alive, huh? And then across the street from there is the old Edmark Auto. So now it's Darlene's, but it used to be Edmark Auto Company. The mission-style building was built in 1927 for the first Dodge Plymouth dealer in Nampa. I bet that was probably pretty impressive, huh? A new car at that time sold for $400 to $500. Later in the 40s, W&R, Wall and Rawlings food store was located here. Yeah, it seems like a good place for a grocery store, huh? And this place has quite an interesting story too. Let's check it out. So this here, kitty corner from the new library, is the old Bon Ton Bakery Candy Kitchen. During the 1930-31, the Bon Ton Bakery and Candy Kitchen, owned by Oscar Bauman, was located to the left, and H.H. Hostler Cash Grocery was to the right here on the corner. In the 1940s, Mode Real Estate, Insurance and Loans was here, with the Dodge Drugstore on the corner. KGEM radio was also here in the 60s and 70s. Wow, that's pretty cool. And last one for our little sneak preview of downtown historic Nampa, we're going to look at this one right here. So this is the old Firestone and Cheeseborough Cafe. These buildings house many businesses throughout the years. Part of the old Dewey Hotel steam laundry roof line with dormer windows can be seen behind the buildings. During the 1940s and 50s, the Firestone store occupied the corner. It'd be over there where the Hong Kong restaurant is now. And the Cheeseborough Cafe was on the main floor of the two-story building on the left, to be right here. From the mid-30s up to the mid-40s, and then it was replaced by the Harmony Cafe, which remained open until the early 70s. I wonder if there's anybody out there that still remembers the old Harmony Cafe. That sounds like such a nice place, especially for the 70s, huh? And it was a popular dining establishment and a meeting place for many of community organizations in the 60s. The Hong Kong Cafe moved here in the early 70s and later expanded to the corner. Well, hey, thanks for coming along and checking out historic downtown Nampa and going through the Journey into the Past, the city's magazine that they put out, a self-guided tour of the history. We only touched on a few of the things that are so interesting here in downtown Nampa. I suggest you get your own copy, and when you come up here, make a point to take this tour and walk around, enjoy the sunshine, and enjoy all the history that Nampa has to offer. Well, until next time, it's Treasure Valley Dave, looking forward to helping you get home.
Treasure Valley Dave here. Thank you for checking out this great video. Can I ask you, what problem do you have that I can help you with? Do you need to sell a home, buy a home? Are you a first-time home buyer? Maybe looking to relocate to the beautiful Treasure Valley from some other state? The Treasure Valley Dave team is your expert by your side here to help you solve your real estate problem. You can contact us through our website or give us a call or text at 208-860-2004. Now go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos. For more education and entertainment, check out this great video next or binge on this playlist.